I'm Sam, welcome back to my channel, and today we're in Haworth, where the Brontes lived, walked these streets, drank in the pub and lived in this house. It all began when Patrick Bronte moved from Ireland to Haworth and lived in the house and worked in this church in 1820. It was the start of a journey for his family that Patrick could never have imagined, and we're going to discover it today. I first started reading the Bronte books when I was just 14 years old, and I was hooked from the start. So it was strange going around the house where they had once lived. We couldn't work out how they'd all managed to fit into this quite small house. Today the house is made up of Charlotte's room, Patrick's room and Branwell's study. So we can only guess that the other two girls, Emily and Anne, must have shared a room. Branwell's was the most interesting room, as it showed us how we think he might have worked due to his many problems, including alcoholism. Patrick Bronte built this school for the children of Haworth. All four of his children, Charlotte, Emily, Branwell and Anne, taught here, and it was also the site of Charlotte's wedding reception in 1854. Sadly, you can't see the Bronte graves as they're inside the church in the family crypt. But this impressive graveyard does have some other really interesting graves, including the last highwayman to be hanged in 1796. But it's not only about the Brontes in Haworth. It's also a quaint little town with a busy high street that has some very interesting shops. It's also where you'll find the Black Bull pub, where Branwell reportedly liked to drink. For such a small town with just one main street, there's an unusually high amount of places to eat and drink, ranging from family pubs to very modern bars. This makes it a great place for a night out, which we really enjoyed, before the next day when we followed in the footsteps of the Brontes on the walk to Top Withens. Top Withens is a ruined farmhouse on the moor, which is thought to have inspired Emily Bronte's Wuthering Heights. So enjoy the walk with us as I read some passages from that most famous book. 1801. I have just returned from a visit to my landlord, the solitary neighbour that I shall be troubled with. This is certainly a beautiful country. In all England, I do not believe that I could have fixed on a situation so completely removed from the stir of society. A perfect misanthropist's heaven, and Mr. Heathcliff and I are such a suitable pair to divide the desolation between us. A capital fellow. He little imagined how my heart warmed towards him when I beheld his black eyes withdraw so suspiciously under their brows as I rode up, and when his fingers sheltered themselves with a jealous resolution still further in his waistcoat as I announced my name. Mr. Heathcliff, I said. A nod was the answer. The master looked asleep as I ventured soon after sunrise to quit the room and steal out to the pure refreshing air. The servants thought me gone to shake off the drowsiness of my protracted watch. In reality, my chief motive was seeing Mr. Heathcliff. If he had remained among the larches all night, he would have heard nothing of the stir at the Grange, unless, perhaps, he might catch the gallop of the messenger going to Gimmerton. If he had come nearer, he would probably be aware, from the lights flitting to and fro and the opening and shutting of the outer doors, that all was not right within. I wished, yet feared to find him. I felt the terrible news must be told, and I longed to get it over, but how to do it I did not know. He was there, at least a few yards further in the park, leant against an old ash tree, his hat off and his hair soaked with the dew that had gathered on the budded branches and fell pattering around him. He had been standing a long time in that position. He raised his eyes and spoke. "She's dead," he said. "I've not waited for you to learn that. Put your handkerchief away. Don't snivel before me. Damn you all. She wants none of your tears." I sought and soon discovered the 3 headstones on the slope next to the moor, the middle one grey and half buried in the heath, Edgar Linton's only harmonised by the turf and moss creeping up its foot, Heathcliff's still bare. I lingered round them under that benign sky, watched the moths fluttering among the heath and harebells, listened to the soft wind breathing through the grass, and wondered how anyone could ever imagine unquiet slumbers for the sleepers in that quiet earth.